We're rolling.
And welcome to the show about banter, where we spread the joy of conversation. We're socially distant. We're going insane. From this virus, we need a vacation. So grab a Corona. No, that one, not that one. In pandemics, you know who to call. Let us flatten the curve and fill up your lungs with hilarity and banter for all. Hello, boys and girls. I am your healthy host, Justin. Sitting with me, dropping them germ-free drops. Mic drop, Mike.
Hello.
we got no
That's a solid drop.
Yeah. One no fun. How about that one? Have you seen you've seen the bowling guy, right?
The bowling guy?
Be more specific. The ESPN bowling guy. He's famous. He wins the big bowling match or whatever, and then he loses his mind there for a minute. There's a pretty famous YouTube video of him.
Ooh, no, but now we got to give our listeners something to chase.
Who do you think you are? I am guy.
Oh, wasn't that somebody the third? Like Parker Bowles the third or something like that?
Maybe. He gets a strike, he wins the game, and he basically is doing like what would be super pumped up, like getting the crowd into it with him, where someone would normally say something like, I'm the greatest or I'm awesome or something like that. But he goes off on this extremely poor tangent. It barely makes sense. He's not speaking English. It's a really good one. That was going to be my drop today, but
it was your drop. You just had a lot more explanation behind it.
Right.
So much more fun.
And bringing us quirky yet quarantine statistic to our show, Stat Boy Rustin.
Yeah, to judge based on how we did last time, I adapted the pandemic scale, we'll say. Mike, you're the Black Plague. That's watch out for those rats. Justin, you're the Spanish flu. Apparently that happened in the early 1900s, and we've never heard about it until this last month.
Sí, señor, sí.
Easy. And then I, of course, am SARS, because that was kind of funny. Everyone rocking around with those N95s or whatever they're called, and it was a good time.
So. There we are. Everyone's present. We are the Dr. Anthony Fauci, the Dr. Ann Zink, and the Dr. Jack Kevorkian of Banter. So we got we got our Chief Medical Officer of Alaska, who's just never had this much airtime in her life combined. We've got the basically America's doctor right now, Dr. Fauci, and then the euthanasia guy.
I'm calling Zinc because I'm very elemental.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I feel like Mike's going to be behind Dr. Jack's sinister ways. So. I can be the doctor that people need right now. All right. Well, each show we choose a theme, and we bring you a variety of ways to banter about that theme. And this week we are bringing you banter for the quarantined. We know that even more important than a vaccine in these trying times, what America really needs is a strong dosage of banter. So we're back. You're welcome, America. And this time, not only you can listen to the audio, but we're going to be posting this video up online too, so you can see our beautiful mugs as we're talking, and ferns that we're sitting by. We got guns in the backdrop. I've got some elliptical and treadmill action behind me, so that's exciting.
All perfect.
Yeah. And fellas, how is quarantine life going?
Rustin?
Yeah.
What's different in your life?
It's going great. We were at Regions when this kind of all started shutting down, and so state got canceled and everything else. So season just ended unexpectedly, which I know my darling wife was very happy about, because I got more time with her and the daughter, and it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bonding.
Bonus time at home. How's you're working from home now, right? Is that
No, I'm still going into the facility.
Students, are they coming in?
No.
They're not coming in, are they?
No.
Okay, so you're running online classroom stuff from the school, basically?
Yeah, Google Classroom. Represent.
Is that... How is that does it make it easier for you specifically, not necessarily for the student to learn, but does it make it easier or harder for you as a teacher?
Well, what you find quickly is that how much of your in-class, like actually in the classroom lesson, how much of that is instruction and how much of it is management. Because on when I can mute
Right.
their mics, it goes a little bit quicker. So
really fast management.
yeah, but no, the kids have been awesome. They've been like logging in, asking questions. Some of them are enjoying it. Some of them are missing the social aspect, but overall, it's been
Right.
first week not too bad.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know it is weird,
and got a job, so that's something.
That is true. Very grateful and lucky for that.
Yeah. And Mikey, this has just got to be a semi dream come true, or how does that?
This is business as usual, except you didn't come over to podcast. Otherwise, my life has not changed in the slightest. I go to work, I come home, I work on the house, and I take my dog for walks, staying at least 6 feet away from people at all times. If anything, people think they're allowed to get closer to me than they should.
You've had an 18-foot rule most of your life, so.
Yeah, exactly. And now people are finally respecting the 6-footer, but even so, it's still not optimal. Although I will say, grocery shopping has improved. People will see you in an aisle and they'll literally turn the other way, which is great. You've got a little bit more room to roam in there. Although I cannot believe how much stuff is just missing from the grocery stores. Like I had to swing in today, pick up groceries for the week on my way home from work. And to me, it's nuts that like something as simple ketchup. The only ketchup left was Heinz organic ketchup. So you can't buy, the off-brand stuff. You can't save a buck. Who is buying all the ketchup? Why is the ketchup gone? It cannot make sense.
Well, at some point, it seems like all this backlog, people are going to have way too much at their house, and then it'll fill back up, right? I mean, because we don't actually need more than we normally have right now. So at some point,
I cannot imagine a world in which these people, unless all they bought was chicken nuggets and French fries, why do they need more ketchup? I can't make any sense of that.
Well, if they're putting ketchup on chicken nuggets, they're losing already.
That's not my style. That's just, I know that's popular with the kids these days.
Yeah. Sweet and sour.
No.
I don't think I've started my car since I think it's almost been a solid week. I think
yeah.
I've been at the house. So ever since the shelter in place for Alaska starting kind of Saturday night, I mean, Jill's gone to work and grocery store, but I've been working from home and walking around the neighborhood. I have not left farther than like probably a 1 or 2 mile radius of my home in almost a week. So this extrovert starting to go a little crazy.
Right.
But lots of Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
lots of Zoom meetings. Yeah, so lots of social interaction still, but not in the flesh. So what we're doing today to bring you some hilarity, a banter for all, and timely help in a crisis such as this one, we wanted to bring our suggestions for how to live your best quarantine life now. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drafting from 10 different categories. Now I'm going to give a shout out to some of these I got from our buddies over at No Dunks, formerly the Starters Podcast. Got some ideas from them. They did something very similar to this, so I want to give credit where credit's due. We are going to be drafting from these 10 categories in a snake format. Rustin will explain for us how that works and decide who's going to draft first. And then afterward, we'll post on Facebook and see whose quarantine life gets the most votes, which my guess will be Mike's. He usually seems to appeal to the universal audience the best. So game on, Rustin. We got
which someone makes sense of that. I've always thought I was a weirdo.
Well, we know it wouldn't be Rustin because his are always contrarian and bizarre.
And look at my backdrop versus Mike's backdrop and where we live.
I think my tastes are usually too.
I guess I am of the people for Alaska.
Yeah. And you make sensible choices with your life.
And Justin, you're too straight.
I guess those are the polite versions.
Yeah, right. Well, and I have some kind of quirky tastes, which will come out, I'm sure. So, Rustin, explain to us how snake draft's going to work.
Sure. It's like if there was you're laying down on a wooden plank in a dungeon, and over you there's a swinging axe, right? And as it goes down lower and lower and lower until it gets you. So basically, if you have the first pick in the first round, you'll have the last pick in the second round.
That was a very colorful
I get
explanation.
it, but only because I know what a snake draft is already.
So that's something they do on All Fantasy Everything. Sean Jordan always makes some creative analogy for it.
Insane,
So,
representation of what a snake draft is. I know Chloe recently, she and these other ladies were involved with a selection of a group of pottery. There was like 20 pottery items, and they wanted to make it fair. And so Chloe's suggestion was, okay, in order to pick, let's just randomize the order, and then we'll snake draft it. We'll draft in order this way, and then that person at the end gets to pick twice, and we'll swing back until all 20 items are gone or whatever between the three of them. And she said no one had a clue what that meant. They were completely thrown off by that concept. And we're like, no, we're going to do it with dice. And they did all the picks with dice. And then Chloe said she got way luckier, and she kept rolling the best dice rolls. And so she kept getting to pick first every single round.
Amazing.
So bad job by them, except for Chloe. She had it right.
I'm mad I didn't get invited to the pottery fair.
Except for auction. They obviously should have auction drafted it.
Right. So Rustin, who's going to...
Everyone gets a $200 auction budget.
How do we decide first pick?
Oh, first pick.
Yeah, who's first?
So I'm going to flip a coin, hypothetical coin, and you guys call either heads or tails, and the winner will decide the order.
Winner decides the order?
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. So
all right.
Who wants to call it?
I'll call it in the air.
Justin or Mike?
Justin.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Heads.
No, it's tails. So Mike,
you
go ahead
didn't
and
call it in the air.
No, he didn't.
It wasn't in the air?
No, definitely not. It was in his hand when you called it. It was a terrible job. Okay. The order for the first round?
No, the whole thing.
Guessing
you
all
keep
the rounds.
order. Yeah.
Yep. Stay order. Keep it in the same order.
Because it'll just flip like a snake draft.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then, Rustin, you're going to go second. And Justin, you're going to go first, and I'll go last.
Okay. Fair enough.
Wow.
All right. So give you a heads up of where we're going. We have 10 categories. The first one is the smartest thing to hoard in this time. So again, this is in the time of a quarantine. We've got options to set up our best quarantine life now. So the smartest thing that you could hoard in this time. Number 2, a TV series to binge watch. Number 3, a hobby to pick up or learn. Number 4, a book series that you could read through. Number 5, one celebrity pen pal to interact with, obviously socially distanced. Number 6, a movie series to binge. Number 7, a best quarantine food to have in your pantry or refrigerator. Number 8, a podcast to subscribe to. Number 9, a game to play, and we're not including video games. And number 10, one thing that you would want to socially distance yourself from. We're looking at something that's very currently popular that you'd like to banish. So those are our categories in that order. And with the first overall pick in the 2020 quarantine sanity draft, smartest thing to hoard. Everyone would be going toilet paper, right? And but I say, give me the Zoom stock. I want all of the stock in the digital application Zoom. I think everybody on the planet is using this video chat right now, or the weirdos that are using Google Meets. But I'd never even heard of Zoom before, and now all of a sudden I think where everything else is plummeting, this thing has got to be on the rise. So I'm going to hoard all of the Zoom stock. So when we come out on the other side of this thing, money.
I think there's a proximal stank. The Microsoft, iPod essentially, and that failed miserably.
The what? Say it again. You broke up.
It sounds like Zune, the Microsoft iPod, and that thing failed. So I think there's a proximal stank.
And apparently there was a kids show called Zoom. And I haven't looked up the YouTube link, but there's a pretty funny song that goes along with it, which has gained some popularity, regained some popularity, I should say.
Right.
All right. So I got Zoom stock. Rustin, number 2, it's up to you.
So I'm going kind of a category, which I know it'll probably get
vetoed,
debated on.
Yeah. We got our buzzers ready.
Yeah. I'm saying paper. Just paper.
In a
paper
digital
towels.
world,
Toilet paper. Paper. Yes.
I guess
Construction
I can't wipe my
paper.
butt with digital.
And you'll see with oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Paper mache.
Here's what you'll see with my picks. I don't think we come out of this. Just
Oh.
heads up.
Oh, this is it, huh?
This is
Okay.
it.
So that was going to be my question was,
That is a good question.
Generally speaking, this quarantine draft, is this going to be something in relation to this quarantine is just the last 2 weeks we've experienced? Is it like the concept that maybe this is more apocalyptic and this lasts months and months? Or is it just open to much better? I'm sure Becca just fixed the light situation there.
Yeah, but I'm too
Rustin
yellow
says
now.
no.
Fine.
Rustin, that's normal.
Mike said it worked.
Yellow's a good light.
It's true. It actually might be better with the light off. Unpopular opinion. What do we go with? Prevailing opinion that, hey, hopefully by early fall this thing is over, or
I think it's just on you. You got to decide what you're willing to invest in and set up.
So we're making our picks based off of where we think this is all going.
Yes.
I like it. I would say.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to stop you. Early fall. What's over? This is over June 1, dude. I'm going back to scratching my butt and touching shopping carts June 1.
I want to be on the outing.
Who says early fall? Early fall, what happens?
We go back to normal.
It's completely gone and it's not on the planet anymore.
I'm just saying like kind of worst case scenario.
I'm allowed to go to the store twice. I can go into town twice in one day. I can't do that till the fall time.
What I would say is let's think about it in terms of the next few months. How's that?
Okay, like for the purpose of the draft.
For the purpose of the draft.
I'm asking you, I don't watch the news, Justin. I'm asking you, in the general media, are they saying that fall time is when we're going to be allowed to eat out at a restaurant again?
I think that's on the table from the discussions that are happening. But nobody knows anything. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, I'm just saying. No one understands this disease. They come out with new things every single second day.
Yeah. Well, at least they give it a break. I don't know. So I would say but we're not thinking like, I mean, I guess if Rustin wants to say it's the end of all time, then, let's just end the podcast. So tell me more about your paper. What's the reasoning here?
Well, I think that it's versatile, right? It's going to be, even though we are going to all move digitally, eventually they're machines and finite resources, where if I have the paper and I don't let it get wet, I mean, what can't I do? Paper airplanes, boom, entertainment. Okay? Paper towels, I can wipe my beard. Like, what else do I need?
Vaccine from the virus?
Nah, bruh. Don't have it. Don't need vaccine.
Sick. All right, so we got Zoom stock and paper. This is fantastic. All right, Mikey, what do you got? You got a steep competition so far. Did we already take yours? You went in third.
No, I survived the first two picks in this draft to still get my number one overall selection. I'm kind of on the fence between a few different things. If this is really going into the fall area, then I'm torn between so one of the number one things I've had an issue getting recently is just regular old hamburger. It is so hard to go to the store and buy a package of hamburger. It's so versatile. It's used to cook in a bunch of different things. Not everyone has a freezer full of moose meat. So I think for my purposes, I'm stocked up. I've hoarded up. I've got an entire chest freezer of hamburger. So when I want to make a meatloaf, when I want to do whatever, if I need spaghetti, then I got it. And I don't got to go to town. I don't got to do anything but stay at home.
Which doesn't really make, why is it because of the things you just laid out, how versatile it is and people can freeze it? Like that seems like some of these things, specific things that are being targeted are semi-random.
Well, I think
it's definitely the most versatile meat you can buy at the store.
Right.
So I would say that that's a big part of it. I mean, all meat is going to freeze okay. But I don't understand. Like I plan on making a meatloaf in about a week in the smoker. and I couldn't buy any hamburger today for that. I just needed 2 pounds of regular hamburger. None. Not a single package anywhere in Fred Meyer or Echo Lake. They're totally sold out.
Go Echo Lake at 10 a.m. when they first roll it out, and you'll get there. But it does sell it by like
That's
12.
what he told me. He is like, you got to be in here in the first 2 hours. You're not getting any.
Yeah. I think it's also that federal assistance or governmental assistance covers ground beef.
So it's like WIC and stuff.
Yeah. So like if you went to the store in these last 2 days, like it just like got ransacked because the checks just rolled out. So
gotcha.
That is part of it
that
too.
Makes sense. All right. So there you go. Zoom stock, paper, and ground beef. We're ready to go. Mikey, back to you with number 2, a TV series to binge.
Okay, so I've got kind of 3 different items on my list here. I probably didn't need the first overall pick in this one. The easy answer right now, famous in the zeitgeist, if you end up listening to this podcast years down the road and you're trying to remember what the quarantine was like, this is the exact same time that the Tiger King series came out, which people are obsessed with. It is fascinating to watch. It is unlike anything I personally have ever seen on TV, but the only problem with it is there's only 7 episodes. And if we're talking about something you need to binge long term or into the fall potentially, it doesn't really satisfy that. It's not binge worthy in that sense. Now, you want to bust out a long weekend where you're stuck at the house and you want to watch 3-4 episodes a day and crank through a Saturday, Sunday. Sure, it's great to binge in that sense. So I actually don't think I'm going to go Tiger King on this one. I'm going to go with something a little more long lasting that I get a big kick out of. I think it's underrated funny. And I haven't seen all of them, so that's part of the reason it's on my list. Otherwise, I'd probably go like Office or Parks and Rec or something. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Andy Samberg, I find to be very funny.
I just started. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes in. I just started watching that.
You throw it on, you get some cheap laughs out of it. It's an easy thing to have on in the background if you're doing other things. I get a kick out of it. I think it's funny.
And how many seasons?
I think there's 8. Yeah, I think the last one on TV was 8, and like 7 are out, to watch on Netflix or whatever.
So you got some longevity. You got, like you said, it's quarantine. You got some time, so you're not going to be done like Tiger King in 7 episodes. So that's smart.
Right. They're 30 minutes. They're funny, which who doesn't need a laugh right now? You watch Tiger King, and by the time you're done with it, you're just like human beings, bad people.
Ugh. Yeah. Huh. All right. Rustin, who you got?
I don't know. Tiger King's really
you can watch it 50 times.
I do think that Tiger King will have a second season because there's going to be follow-up for when – well, I don't know. I haven't finished it, so who knows? But Mike knows more than me.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah. But again, it's kind of like Making a Murder when that first came out, and the second season was just not good.
Sure.
So there's a short lifespan.
It was unmaking the murder. It wasn't as interesting.
Right. Undoing. No, I was stuck between 2. I've never seen The Wire. I felt like that was would be a pretty good pick. But I'm going.
Sorry.
I'm going to gamble a little bit, and I'm picking Ozark on Netflix. Because I do think you need to have some comedy, but also a little bit of drama mixed in there. I'm going heavier drama, a little bit of comedy, because anytime I watch Jason Bateman, I'm all in. And he's a powerhouse, and I'm in.
Have you watched any of it yet already? Like, have you watched much of it?
First season, and season 3 just came out recently, and I believe that they're going to keep going.
And the gamble. So what's the gamble?
The gamble is more seasons. So I haven't seen season 3, so it could be over. I don't know, but yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting. All right. So not a lot of how many episodes a season?
It's in that 10 to 12 range, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, I've seen the first season. Yeah.
Okay. So a little shyer on the binging.
Sorry.
Now, I will say the one thing about Tiger King, which I know no one drafted it yet necessarily, but what you have with it, if you were to draft it, would be
he wants to draft Tiger King so bad.
The general public.
It's in the general
public. Yes, and the memes are great. There are a ton of very funny memes out there that have to do with the story. And it's something that, let's say you may not be watching more than 7 episodes. Like today at work, I probably discussed it for about an hour of my day throughout the entire day of work was about Tiger King with 2 or 3 different people, because everyone that's seen it wants to talk about it.
Sick. So it's water cooler fodder.
Totally.
Well, so I was actually going to say everybody is going Tiger King, but I say, well, I don't say. But the funny one I was going to say is Love is Blind. Have you seen this? It's on Netflix. It scratches the Bachelor itch right now, because those of us who are going through Bachelor withdrawals, since they're not going to be recording this year, apparently. They get 2 people in a pod, and they have a month from the very beginning of the show till a wedding day. And they start out, and you meet like 10 to 15 other people in these pods where you can't see them. You can only hear them. And then based on that, you kind of go to the next level only once you've proposed to one of these people. So you propose to this person, never having seen them, AKA Love is Blind. And then they fast forward toward, okay, like, because most of that, there was like 5 couples that advanced out of it. And they had like 3.5 weeks to get married. And as you can imagine, it doesn't go well. But that would actually not be my pick, because it's 1 season and it's insane. But I would say, I was thinking my pick is Breaking Bad. And I've already seen it once. But if I've got, that was like, I think like 8 seasons strong. It was I think it's the GOAT. I think it's the greatest TV series, like drama category of all time. And I've got enough time so I can go through it. And the thing about one like that, for a quarantine stretch of a few months, I want something that's going to be kind of, clickbait, where I want to go to the next one right away. I could spend a couple evenings just engrossed in it. Now, if I was like Desert Island and I could only have one show for the rest of my life, then I probably would go Seinfeld or The Office with the recurring characters and the laughter. But I think I would get, in a few months' time where you're at home a lot, I'd get a little tired of the redundancy and lack of like plot driving of a comedy. So I think Breaking Bad would be my best choice for this particular context. So I'm going Walter White. If you haven't seen it, now's your moment. Carpe Walter. There you go.
I agree with that, especially in the sense that if you haven't seen it before, it's a must, and it really gives you something to look forward to from day to day. So you can basically kind of set your watch to like, okay, I'm going to watch an episode a day or maybe 2, and you get done with that one episode that you watched in season 4 or whatever, you are going to immediately be like, I can't wait till tomorrow or whatever. So it kind of helps dangle that carrot.
Yeah.
To potentially have the days go by.
Carry you through Corona. That's what it's going to do. So I nailed that one. Now, so it's back to me because it's snake draft. Hobby to pick up or learn. So this is something obviously that we haven't already been, doing and nailing. Now I know everyone's going origami. I get that, but I say, learning a language. Always wanted to be bilingual. This is something you and those quarantined with you in your household, you can become fluent and enjoy it together. So it's good for the few of you that are there. And also you could try it out over Zoom. So you could make a buddy in China and learn some tips on how to get on the other side of COVID. So I think be a blast, become bilingual, or at least move in that direction.
Step 1, don't report new cases.
Don't report new cases.
Yeah, that's what China's doing. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Or as they would say, 很好.
So you already are bilingual. So
dude, trilingual.
Yeah, sorry. You just said that it wasn't allowed to be a hobby that we already did. So
I've never
ignore that rule.
I have never become fluent in a second language. Did I teach a Spanish class? Yes. Did I really speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Nope.
Sweet. All right. Well, with my pick, I'm going to go. I was stuck between either learning the violin, but the issue is I think Becca would go insane because learning process.
Right.
So.
Oh, dude. Also, no one plays the violin good at first. It is going to sound like
nails on the chalkboard
for the first months even.
Yeah. But we have like years of this, so who knows? And again, I want to iterate. I don't think the disease is the issue. I think the people are the issue. The panic, the fear, it's going to eventually take over, and it's going to.
So you're going to soothe everybody, and then as they're calm, everything will go back to normal.
I'll be like the white violin or whatever her name was on the Umbrella Academy.
It's pronounced yo-yo-ma.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes. So I'm going to actually go with sauce making.
Sauce making?
Yeah. It's like hot sauces, barbecue sauces, or any other type of.
I love it.
That's really developed flavor profile and stuff like that.
I'm so
Sauces
jealous.
Are just like
I am so jealous of that pick.
Yeah.
Hot sauce.
Oh yeah. Salad dressings. Like, oh, geez.
That is really smart, Rustin. I'm proud of you. Great job. Great thinking.
Thanks. I love my condiments. So
yeah, you do. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
Well, perfect. Rustin and I are going to team up in the long run then, because I am smoking meats.
Yeah, you are. No. You grill, but you don't smoke.
I am going to be I have a smoker, but I could get a hell of a lot better at it than I already am. So we're doing pork butts, we're doing ribs, we're going to be doing meatloafs on the smoker, which is what I'm getting ready for next week, doing the prep work, watching YouTube videos. It can be a science. You can really get lost in this hobby. And I partake in it a little bit now, just like I'm not fluent in cooking meats on the smoker yet.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Justin is
Shots
not
fired.
fluent
Shots
in
fired.
languages here, although he's already basically knows Spanish. And then I'm going to get together with Rustin. We're going to break all the COVID rules. We're going to hang out. He's going to put his sauce on my meat, and we're going to be set.
And I'm going to come over and ask you for some.
I love that in any different context.
Yeah. Yes. No kidding.
There you go. Exactly. You can get excited about it and talk in Spanish.
All right. So back to Mikey. Number 4, a book series to read.
Okay. So my book series that I'm jumping into here that I've always really been interested in, that I've just heard is really good, is the Twilight series. No, that's not what I'm doing. That's an April Fool's.
The funny part is you actually took my joke. You took my joke.
Did I really?
Yeah,
no way.
You did.
You were gonna pick Twilight as a joke?
I'll screenshot my.
Oh, that's because I was gonna say that my hobby to learn in the last one was TikTok and try and pull that off, but whatever that is. But no, my book series. My favorite book series of all time has been since I was probably 12 or so, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
I'm taking the entire Sherlock Holmes series.
That's smart. That's probably
I know what Justin's pick is. I'd have to look up if you include short stories. There's only like 3 or 4 books, I believe, but then there's 20 some odd short stories to go along with it. There's a big, like 1,200 page collection book that I read through, and I love it. I'm true crime type stuff, even though it's fiction, so it's not true crime, but the mystery novel, those kinds of things. It's part of what was interesting about Tiger King for me. It's perfect genre. I can get lost in it. I find it fascinating. Sherlock Holmes' character, he is sort of a distant person to begin with, perfect for the quarantine life. He didn't have a lot of friends in his life. He didn't really want people around. He worked best alone outside of his one partner in Watson, who was one of the few people who could put up with and understand him. Sherlock Holmes series, that's definitely my pick.
Brilliant. All right, Rustin.
Yeah.
Who doesn't read?
No, don't read at all. No,
the Dr. Seuss beginner series, Hop on Pop.
Right. Talia loves Hop and Pop.
Yes,
but no,
yes, she does.
I'm gonna go with. And I'm to be honest, I don't know which one's larger, so I'm not sure yet. But either the World Book or Encyclopedia Britannica unabridged full volume set.
There you go. That's how you get on Jeopardy later.
And you're gonna read cover to cover.
Exactly. Cover to cover, baby. All right. I can do the dictionary. I can do an encyclopedia. Let's go.
Starting about aardvark. We're gonna learn.
Yeah, get 3 words in. I guess aardvark. No.
Oh, that is such a weird decision. All right, so you're just gonna
brilliant
flop down and read through the encyclopedia.
Yes, I don't need to be entertained. I'm already being entertained by Ozark. I just want information now.
Now you need to learn. All right. Well, see, what I had was, everyone's going Twilight, That's actually what I had written down. But I say, I'm not going to overthink this one. I know it's one of the most popular ones of all time, and Mike could guess it by the way I reacted when I thought he was going to say Harry Potter. Now, I know this one flies under the radar, but I think this one's going to catch on. I think it's going to take off anytime now. But here's not so much, I mean, Harry Potter, whatever, but what I suggest is if you're with somebody else in your house, you have a spouse, if not, go purchase one from Russia or something. And I would say, read it out loud to each other. We have started this. It is fantastic. Changes the game. And especially you can get the voices. You can get some Hagrid in there.
I feel like you're the only one doing that. I don't think Jill is.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. So she does she's just preferred to me, for me to read. But it opens up a whole new world where you actually, it's something you can share together. And so instead of just reading on your own, because I've got plenty of other books I like to read by myself, but this is something we like to do together. We're driving in the car. We're got some time to kill that evening. It's more interactive, less passive than watching something. I recommend the folks to try it at home. Try reading out loud to each other. And then even if you don't have somebody there, get on Zoom. And I have the stock, so I'll benefit from that. Or call somebody up on the phone.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. There you go. All right, and then it's back to me for one celebrity pen pal. So this is somebody that we can interact with, however they'll allow. You could video chat with them. You could write emails back and forth, whatever it is. I know everyone's going Christopher Lloyd, and even though he looks like a mad scientist, can't actually stop the coronavirus. But I say, I'm looking for somebody interesting to talk to. I am looking for someone who's smart but not arrogant. I'm looking for someone who's funny but not annoying. I'm looking for somebody who's lived an interesting life but is also very relatable. I'm looking for someone who's a good storyteller but also is a good listener. So with all those things in mind, give me the greatest coach
You're
of all time.
You're going to write to me.
Yes. I was going to say my greatest coach of all time. So if Mike's not available on the board, so I would take Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski from Duke. Let's go Duke. I think we'd have a lot of, we got the basketball thing. He's an older guy, so he's lived a long life, has a lot of fun stories to tell, but also as a coach, he knows how to hear you. I think we'd have quite a bit to go back and forth about. So Coach K is my celebrity pen pal.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Do you think he's will have the energy to do that right now?
Because he's old or what?
I don't know. He just seems like if it's not him winning that current basketball game, it seems like he's just out on everything else right now. He's cantankerous now.
Well, if you have ever listened to him on a radio interview or something, he's quite witty and funny, which you wouldn't necessarily think that he wouldn't strike you as that right out of the gates, just from watching him on the game in the court and stuff. But he's got quite a good repartee.
Oh, enchanté.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh well, French and Spanish.
Si. A seaweed.
Yes.
A seaweed. So let's see. I'm gonna go with. I was stuck between two, and it's crazy because they do a lot of collaborations together and whatnot. But we got to have humor, of course, like you're saying. Got to have relatability, humanistic, would actually care, good interviewer, asked a lot of questions. I got to go Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, and you guys are the same person, which I'm also going to
helps a lot.
Yeah. Same exact. Every time I hear him in his sense of humor, that's actually it's a brilliant call, and he's actually really smart. Knows a lot of history and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he can go on crazy riffs down that road of of not just humor but also intellectual and
Right.
So.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh yeah.
All right, Michael.
I want someone like you talked about. It would be nice to speak to someone who's been around the block that I feel like I could glean some wisdom from. And when I heard you say celebrity, my brain sort of went to what is Hollywood or
that makes sense.
Music or movies and stuff. I didn't really kind of consider the idea that sports figures were in the option. But I'm going to stick with my pick anyways. I am going to write to Clint Eastwood. I want to talk to him about his life and what he's come through. and living through eras unlike my own. One of the favorite people I worked with, Steve Olson, much older than me, old enough to be my grandfather, and some of the insight and things I gleaned from him, I felt was extremely powerful. And so talking to someone like that, Clint Eastwood also, we would be able to communicate on the same level because I feel like we have similar aligning sort of like general life principles. So it wouldn't be, some people out of Hollywood are just so different from me that it would be tough for us to even have topics to write to and from about.
Right.
But Clint Eastwood, as more of a conservative, would be an interesting person who also lives in such a different world of Hollywood to, I think, have conversations with.
Yeah, and a little curmudgeonly, which I think you would like. You don't want somebody too chipper.
That's right. I guarantee you our letters would be short and to the point.
I thought you might go fictional, go Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
But
real life Ron Swanson, though, does not align with me.
Not your cup of tea.
He is the anti-Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. So rolling back to you, we are on to movie series to binge.
Okay, so picking a movie series here, man, there are so many out there. I'm going to give you a little bit. I wonder how I could do this for trivia. I probably couldn't. I'm going to give you I did some research on movie series because I was trying to get in my mind what are some of the movie series out there. And they rank the top 30 according to ratings on Metacritic, which is a pretty popular website for ranking films. And so they would take each film in the series and then they would show the percentage, 100% is a perfect score, 0% is a bad score. And then they average them together according to the different movie series to see how they performed. And where do you think out of the top 30 the Rocky movie series landed?
11.
So this is noteworthy.
No, 19.
So you think that's way too low?
Well, I just thought it was interesting that it was as famous as it is, as much as people love it. I thought 19th was, we're talking multi-movie series. There's barely even 30 of them to begin with.
That's true.
We're not counting like really bizarre, weird rom-coms that get a sequel or something stupid. So I was really surprised, but it was like Rocky 3, 4, and 5 were all horribly reviews, through the actual critics.
Yeah.
I'll give you each 2 guesses at what the number 1 movie series was. Critic rating. There were a total of 4 movies in this movie series. Debuted in 1979. Second movie was in 81. The third movie was in 85. And then they came back with a 4th movie in 2015. This has the highest overall rating for all of the films by Metacritic. Highest overall average.
2015.
So it was a 3-part series starting late 70s into the 80s. And then was rebooted, kind of. Not necessarily rebooted, but they made a new one. I believe they were all directed by the same director as well. That's part of there's a clue for you. With the most recent one being the most famous. Being the highest rated.
Oh. Because what? No, because there's more movies than that.
All I could think of was Die Hard, but it didn't start that early. Because then I don't think the last one was that late. And be shocked if that was.
And I think they're up to 5. Then.
Oh, is there 2? Man, that's only 5 years ago. The latest one came out.
The window I was thinking of originally was. Anyway, no.
What was the one you were thinking of?
Give us a guess.
It was Lethal Weapon, but both ends were closer to the middle than what that is. So.
Lethal Weapon. What's the game we used to play? It was one of the podcast games, the Raspberry word game.
Oh yeah, from 10 man.
Yep. So Lethal Weapon and this movie series could be they're tied to each other through an actor.
Oh,
Does
okay.
that make sense?
So, yeah.
Hint for you.
Is it Mel Gibson or is it
the first 3 films in this?
No, let Liam. Who is
movie
that
series?
Oh, I'm thinking of. What's the one I'm thinking of? Which one's Lethal Weapon? Is that
Mel Gibson, Dan Glover?
It is that one. That is Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yep.
Rene Russo.
So what actor crosses over from that movie series into this one?
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Mad
Max, 73%, Road Warrior, 77%, Beyond Thunderdome, 71%, and then Fury Road, 90%. So overall average, 77.8%, the number one overall movie series Metacritic score.
Okay. Wow.
Well,
barely beating out the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess. So you said
which was a 70. Yeah.
But your pick.
So there you go. But my pick is for binging purposes. I love them. They're great to throw on in the background. They give you an idea what movies were like when they were made all the way from the 60s to 2020. There's 27 of them. The James Bond series.
Oh.
Just
a lot of movies.
Entertainment all the way. Yep. You've got everything from terrible dialogue, some great unintentional comedy opportunities, bad guys that they then basically made an entire Austin Powers series out of. You've got Sean Connery at his Sean Conneryest. You've got all the Bond girls, gadgets, and weapons. Exactly. We have midgets throwing hats. It doesn't get any better than the James Bond series.
Love it. Oh, that's smart. It's probably the longest, probably the most movies in a series. All right.
27 films.
Hard to beat
I'd
that.
recommend Thunderball was a great one. Dr. No, the original. Goldfinger, of course, was bizarre. All of some of my favorites.
Rustin, who are you going with?
I think it's just the natural pick, and that's why I didn't go with it for the books. I'm doing the Rowling universe, the Harry Potter / Fantastic Beasts, and wherever else we're going to be going down that road. So
yes,
because if anything, it really like makes you feel really weird seeing Hermione grow up. So
yeah, my roommate was my roommate was into her way too early, like the first movie when we were in college.
Yeah, no. You can't be that
too soon.
Too soon.
Unpopular opinion alert. I very much prefer the Fantastic Beast set of movies to the actual Harry Potter set of movies.
Well, and we've been reading
the visual medium.
Yeah, right. We've been reading the books. We're on book 5, and we've been watching the movie after we read each one. And I know it's always obviously, the book's better than the movie, but it's kind of fun for a recap, but it is just amazing how much, especially as the books get longer, they have to cut out. And I think that, if you were you need to watch them. It's almost like the worst thing to do is to see them back to back. Because if you haven't watched them in a while or read the books in a while, you're just watching the movies, very enjoyable. They're very well done. But after you read the book, all you're thinking is like, but you didn't even show the house elves at all. Or you didn't even like Ludo Bagman, not in the 4th book at all, or in the 4th movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know. It's hard to believe. Excellent pick. Now,
but you do get the longevity. That's a lot of movies. That's plenty of time to binge. And it's great entertainment value, right? Simple, easy stuff to watch. It's got a nostalgia factor to it because I'm sure most people read the books in their teenage years or college years.
Well, and now I thought for my pick, I thought everyone's going Marvel movies. I thought someone was going to pick that universe. But I say, again, not going to think too hard about it. I'm going to go Star Wars. And again, you got a long series and kind of similar to Breaking Bad. You've got a lot of character development, a whole world that's going to keep you coming back for more. First 3, not that great, I know, but then we've got some more recent ones that did better. I don't know if I get the Mandalorian rolled in with that or not. It's a series on Disney Plus that's new.
No,
that's fair. That's fine. That's fine.
That's a TV show.
Yeah. All right. I said.
Which is the best part of the Star Wars universe, by the way.
I haven't seen it yet. But see, again, if we're going like you get one series forever, I'd probably go Toy Story with the four of those. But with a couple months and wanting to be plot driven, I think I'd go Star Wars, or you could go Land Before Time, because I think there's like 73 or 74 of them. So that would have been a.
No, that's more than Bond, dude.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I don't need to see the same dinosaurs running around longer than Bond is.
No, Petrie, man, come on.
So back to me with our best quarantine food. So this is food that in this kind of hunker down state, what do you need? What are you going to have? I know everyone's going toilet paper, which is the only explanation for why everybody's hoarding it. They must be eating it. But I say
it's delicious.
I'm going with cereal, dry cereal. And here's why. It lasts forever.
On my short list.
Yeah, well, and especially with the ones that are, I mean, they're coated in preservatives, so say that out loud, and very versatile. You got lots of flavors and varieties to choose from. It can be a snack in your hand. It can be a meal in the bowl. Put a little milk in there. Great for breakfast, but will I complain if I say, hey, Jill, what's for dinner? And she goes, cereal. I will not complain. Light but filling, and obviously just super nutritional, especially the like Reese's Puffs. So give me the cereal.
It's not bad at all. Mike actually took my first pick already when he took ground beef.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna go with jerky. Lasts forever. Again, I think inexpensive. Yeah, super. We didn't talk about money, but I think ultimately when this all becomes essentially, I can't even think of it, Lord of the Flies. But like globally,
Beelzebub.
I want protein that I don't have to go kill with like in the sewer. So I want jerky.
Protein I have to kill.
There you go.
You can make jerky out of rat food with my smoker.
And you can bring your sauce over, and we can have
energy.
Oh,
rat jerky
some
with
teriyaki rat jerky.
Oh,
almost rhymed.
Okay.
yeah, I was trying to build it.
The quarantine food. This is where I win the draft for sure.
Oh.
Just wait. I am drafting
more
takeout.
ground beef. Oh.
Takeout.
No, I am supporting the community. I'm going out. I'm able to get out of the home to get my takeout. I'm helping the small businesses stay afloat. I had some senior ponchos the other day. It was delicious.
So good.
I got my fresh salsa. Yep. And so I'm bouncing around every couple of nights. I'm getting takeout. That is food variety. All over the place, keeping these places in business. They haven't closed down shop. I don't have to dine in, which means I don't have to see people. I don't have to dress up. I show up in my work pants. I get my takeout. I go home. It's the best of both worlds. I wish we were always on quarantine. Never have to eat out, but still get awesome takeout food. That's my dream life. So give me takeout all day long from all these different fancy restaurants where I don't got to get fancy to go in and eat there. And I just get to go home with it. But then they love me. I'm doing them a good thing, a good service. I'm not sitting in there and eating and tipping them. It's great.
That was a mic drop, Mike. It feels a little cheating, a little bit. That feels like a kind of more like a category.
I feel better about my paper pick.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
because my last pick, I'm
exactly.
going to incorporate
if Rustin's going to draft paper.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, it was creative, and I like it. There was a lot of thought put behind it. You didn't just say like food or even just like restaurant. I mean, yeah, okay, we'll allow it.
That's right. Now this is small business takeout here.
Yep, I like it.
Not McDonald's, not fast food. We're not going any of those places.
Local businesses.
This is local business takeout. Yep.
All right. So next category, back to Mike, a podcast to subscribe to. And you can't say ours. I actually could say ours.
Oh, what?
We have mentioned a multitude of the series that this podcast covers. It is perfect in this time where you have very little to do but absorb media. It is called Binge Mode, and they have covered all of the most famous series like the Star Wars series. They take the movies, they take the TV shows, they take any type of anything in that world. They'll break it down. They'll talk about the funny moments. They'll help you remember what was great about it, what was bad about it. They'll talk about the history of it as a whole. So they'll say, Star Wars, how was it received originally? What did people think about the middle three movies? What were some of the quotes that the producer was saying as he was making it? What are some of the struggles? They've got behind the scenes stuff telling you this actor broke their leg or this person got fired on the set. They'll break down some cool facts about this was the person almost cast to play Han Solo. So they've done Star Wars. They have done Game of Thrones, which is extremely popular. They've done the Harry Potter books and movies. And so their takes and their information and kind of rounding out that world in a long form media like a podcast where you can devote 2 or 3 hours of talking points to a single book. In fact, I think in the Harry Potter case, they took it every 5 chapters. They would do like an hour and a half long podcast. They can really break things down. It's a good time waster. You can put it on, you can keep working, you can do whatever. And if you absorb all of it, great. If you just pick up on some tidbits that are interesting, that's fine too. So the Binge Mode podcast, part of the Ringer Network, one of our favorite podcast networks, that's my choice.
Brilliant. Love it. All right, Rustin.
So I'm going to go kind of in the same vein in terms of like this huge umbrella of one topic, except for I'm going to take one from all topics and go with Omnibus. That's the Ken Jennings podcast. Oh, and they just, again, a little bit of comedy and some knowledge. Although
so
Ken is...
Go well with your, as you're reading the encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and then I can talk to Conan about it. Like, it's all this triangle of magic. So anyway, and here's the best part about it. I haven't actually listened to an episode. Oh. So I've just heard good reviews.
Sounds amazing.
There you go.
So, so it's perfect time to binge it because start from the beginning and get after it. So
a rerun is new to you. I think, interesting. I hadn't even heard of that one. I love a good podcast recommend. I am going to go, I know everybody's going Banter for All, which is the popular pick, or maybe This American Life, which is the GOAT. But I would say in this time, I'm going to go in Rustin's little triangle world and steal Conan Needs a Friend. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. It is the funniest podcast that is out there right now. One of the only things that I actually laugh out loud to in my life. And he's run, they're in season 2 now. They drop them once a week, so I could go back and run back. And they're very re-listenable because of how, they're all over the place. They're hilarious. I got a lot of their sports ones, but the downside about sports ones is just a little too timely. I wouldn't want to go back and listen to some, a couple of years ago, Bill Simmons breaking down an NBA season that's already over. So these ones, you can go back and listen to other ones over and over again. So Conan, you're my boy. And have either one of you heard that? Have you listened?
Yes. Okay. Like 25 in or so.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Mikey, ever heard it?
I've heard of it. I have not listened.
Oh, all right. You can change that. So back to me. I'm going game to play. Now, I know everyone's going Monopoly because you got a lot of time on your hands. That game goes forever. But I say, give me Monopoly Deal. This is the card version that I always call Monopoly Go. But it's actually called Monopoly Deal. We actually just played it tonight at dinner. And so it's basically the card version of Monopoly, which it's kind of like I was thinking.
Hold on.
Yes.
You played it at dinner?
Yes, Jill and I. 2-player.
So you were eating and playing a board game?
It's a card game, but yes.
Okay.
We have found.
You live a life full of nothing but entertainment 24/7,
dude. It is fantastic. We have found, and I for Christmas, I was like, what can I get? I didn't have a lot of 2-player games. Needed 2-player games now with the spouse in the house. And so I loaded up, got probably 7 or 8 different games. And most of them semi-quick hitters. You can play for you can be done in 15, 20 minutes. I recommend Cahoots. It's another really fun one. So we sit down. We bust out a game over dinner, and it's a beautiful way to pass the time. So I would say kind of like I've heard it said that Frisbee golf scratches a lot of the itches of ball golf, but it's way cheaper and quicker, more accessible. Like obviously if you had the time, you would golf. Yeah. Well, just for the people out there. So So I would say in a similar way, it scratches a lot of the Monopoly itch, but it's way faster and brilliant. And you can actually change, because you're trying to get the sets of Monopolies just like in the board game. But you can actually you can vary that. So it's 2 to 5 players. So there's only 2 of you in the house. Great. If you got kids around, bring them on in. Simple enough. But sometimes we just do like the first of 3 sets, and it can be done in 10 minutes. Or like tonight, we go to 7 sets, and you're really slogging it out, and it can scratch on for 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And Rustin just got lost behind the Golden Gate Bridge. So recommend it. Another one I want to slide in there just to recommend. I'm choosing Monopoly Deal, but if you have not played What Do You Meme? Like MEME, or as I think Mike says, Meme. It's apples to apples for millennials. Look it up. It is it's a pretty fun one. Rustin, you're up.
Asia. I'm going to probably pick something that will just, again, lend itself to this vein that I'm building. I'm going categories, and I'm going to crush it every single time, even though I already do.
Bring it. I would take you down.
Dude, no chance. Sorry. Like, it's embarrassing. Or Scrabble. But I like Scrabble. The issue with Scrabble is just not enough people are that good at it, which sounds
you
very
have to
arrogant.
do something now. This is gonna be you and Becca?
Yeah.
This is quarantine life.
But these categories you can play over Zoom easily, right? So yeah. So I mean, it's easy to like.
Great point.
See, and I was gonna ask that was a follow-up question I was gonna have for you guys. Like, what would be some good? Because we were actually thinking like a couple that we were gonna we were like, let's play some like, how can we play games over Zoom? That's a good one. Categories is a good one.
I even argue you could play categories by yourself if you wanted to, in terms of like just challenging yourself and like
seeing how many you can get.
Here's the list and pick a letter.
If solitaire is a single player game, then you can play categories.
Amen.
If anybody's trying to stop you, they're a bad person.
Hey, Copper.
All right,
She's
Mikey.
being pathetic right now.
She needs some attention.
Mine's simple. It's one of the best games. It's existed a really long time. It can be played with any number of people from 1 to a million. It's as straightforward as they get. Yes. This game is called The Quiet Game. It's best played in a room full of people. And you just say, all right, everybody, we're going to play The Quiet Game now. And then the game has simultaneously started and ended all at once. I wish we were playing it now.
That would be great podcasting.
Yep.
I think Justin would lose.
I would have no chance.
Yes, for sure. And therefore the rest of us as well. But
exactly. It'd also be my living hell. Oh, that's amazing.
That's a good
all
one.
right.
That's an art level pick.
Yeah, that was
there for all of the parents of 7 and 10 children that we know, they're gonna love that game stuck in their quarantine life. Ran into a guy at the store today who doesn't come into work anymore because he can do his work from home. Most everything is Skype or Zoom or whatever type meetings. And I asked him how things were going, and he said it feels like he's living in a cage. That was his response.
That's pretty good.
He's got like 3 kids, and I was like, all right, well, sorry, I guess. He needs more quiet game in his life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, last category. One thing that you can socially distance yourself from. Talking about something you would banish, something that is currently popular, but you're sick and tired of it. You want nothing to do with it. What are you quarantining yourself from? Michael, last pick for you.
Okay. This one is going to surprise you guys a little bit, but it is the reality of the situation for me. I could probably pick something that would be more popular among the listeners, but for me personally, I'm socially distancing myself from sports news. I cannot take hearing one more story about some athlete whose blood got donated for COVID-19 research, or seeing some update come across my phone that Tom Brady is going to wear number 12 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great. I don't care. The sports world is so bogged down because they have nothing to talk about right now. There's no new information. There's no games. And for me, sports and sports news and that type of social media content, it's all about the current games and the current season and what's happening. And because there are no sports right now, the last thing I want is to see updates about some athlete that might or might not have COVID. I find it to be obnoxious and redundant and boring. And really all it does is then remind me that there are no sports. So for me, I'm socially distancing myself. I turned off all the updates from my Sportacular app. I don't get any more from that app, my favorite sports app. I told it, you know what, I don't want updates from you guys because you just keep sending me a bunch of not headline-worthy headlines, basically.
Yeah, that's smart. Although, I mean, I have had some fun with some of the podcasts. Like Bill Simmons has been doing, it's like redrafting some of the former, they went back to the 1996 draft, and they're the two of them are redrafting the draft, from what we know now, and just talking about those players from that year. Some of that kind of stuff can be kind of fun to relive and kind of think back. But I would agree, for the most part, I never turn on ESPN. It's a good pick. All right, there you have it, Rustin.
Yeah, I thought it was solid because, and I think that equates to almost what Facebook is turning into is all the old MySpace surveys, and that's what sports news has become, is all this rehashing, and this was fun ways to think about what's not actually going on. I don't know, and I just think the overreaction of shutting everything down is ridiculous. However, my pick is Zoom. This is the worst platform by far. Give me Google Classroom. Get Zoom out of here. Crash your stock. Done.
Yeah, and once I started suggesting that, you backpedaled hard. I called your bluff. I said, let's go Google Meets, and you backed out.
I didn't know how the borough would react. I didn't know.
Well,
so
smart, Rustin. You protect that position you have to go in there and teach that classroom from afar.
That's right.
You need to be throwing that away in
Job
these times,
security.
These tough times.
Once they see this episode, you're going to get a promotion. That's what I said.
I know.
Well, I think when everyone's going, no more bad news, I'm saying don't give me pretending that someone forced you to answer a bunch of Facebook questions. There's the posts all over the place, all the time, where somebody will say something like, okay, I'll play along. Here's the 48 things about me. Nobody asked you.
If I have to.
Yeah, nobody or okay, I'll post this about myself, this picture, this thing, I'll play along. It's like this, pretending as though somebody had a gun to their head and told them you have to post this, because they don't want to just be I'm bored. I need to tell you all these really banal facts about my life. I can't stand those things. I want them gone. So they're out. There you go.
That's good.
All right. So there we have it. We've drafted. We'll have the boys send me their lists. We'll put them up on Facebook, and you guys can vote who has the best quarantine life suggestions for you out there. We're glad we could help. We're glad we could be here in a difficult season. And
as always too, put up your own picks. We're really curious about those.
Yes.
Obviously, with only one round of each category, we missed something. So let us know what we missed.
Yeah, did we? I don't know.
Yeah. We should put out a Facebook survey.
There you go. See what people think. What the people want. Well, it's time to banter down, boys. What did we learn today?
Nothing. Everyone picked exactly kind of in the same mindset that I thought they would. So.
Nothing stood out. And nobody really stole anybody else's.
The ground beef, that one, I was disappointed about that, but I should have known. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, actually, Justin, I learned how Metro your hair can grow.
Dude, I know. I'm looking so cool right now. I'm gonna go faux hawk next.
Oh, you should. You look like Jeremy in high school when he had that kind of hair.
I wonder if my abs look like Jeremy's in high school. I learned Rustin looks really good next to two ferns. I want you to bring them back for the end of the episode.
Yeah, we'll close that out for sure.
Yeah. There you go. Love
That's the one.
Yeah, Rustin, you were born to be in the jungle.
Oh yeah.
Tiger King.
Just emerge.
Exactly.
Michael, what did you learn today?
I learned that I didn't see this coming, which is pathetic because we always do this every episode, but I forget. What did I learn? Gosh. Chloe, my wife just walked in. She's laughing at me because she knows you guys
This is her favorite part.
I learned that despite the fact, here we go, this is perfect. Despite the fact that I always put on airs that I really don't want to hang out with people or see anybody or have friends over or deal with human beings in general, that I would have had more fun while this was great if you guys had come on over and done the podcast like normal and all been in the same room. It would have been an even more enjoyable experience.
The quality would have been better. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, especially if we were on Google Meets.
Oh, yeah. On the same network.
Quality of Rustin's smile would be important.
I don't smile, really.
Quality of his ferns. They won't let you, for the new
travel.
The new real IDs, you're not allowed to smile with your teeth. So it's like
same with passport.
Yes. That is one of my favorite parts. You smile, period. When they said don't smile with your teeth, I said yes. God has granted 3 wishes. I will stand here stoically and look at this camera like I hated being here for the hour I was in here, and it's the truth. It's just, this is me. DMV, here I am.
Oh, well, there you have it. Banter for all. I think we're going to be Curb Your Enthusiasm style. We're going to throw these out whenever we want to. We have no idea when the next one will come out. It was a year and a half since the last one, so keep you on your toes. And those are not toes.
Season 2, baby.
Yeah, baby. That was Banter for all. Now let's hear some banter from y'all. Leave a review or a rating on iTunes or on Stitcher. I don't know if we even still have those things up. Check us out on Facebook.com/banterforall, Twitter @banterforall, where you can hear all about Rustin's fantasy ideas because he has hijacked our Twitter account. Website banterforall.libsyn.com. Email us with mailbag questions, comments for future episodes, ideas, banterforall@gmail.com. This episode brought to you by Lucy's Market, which is now a titan. Watch out, Odies. No longer.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Go for it.
Don't think that I don't feel like we had absolutely nothing to do with that, but we can at least say that we were pimping their muffins before they were anything.
We were ground floor, baby.
Why do you think she has her own store now?
And we were on the ground floor. It doesn't mean that we were part of the rest of the build, but we were, hanging out like street urchins.
We were basically hammering those nails.
Yeah, we are Lucy's Cornerstone.
And by the way, that's Lucy's Market. To keep you more aliver, we now deliver.
That was brilliant. All right, shout out to our music provider that I'm going to splice it afterward, bensound.com, everybody.
I don't think he's still alive.
You think he got COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, no. COVID.
No. I watched an internet ad real quick, and it had the same intro song.
Sick. Oh. Sick.
What was it? Can you say what it's for?
I have no idea. I do not remember.
It was confusing.
Okay.
It came up when I was trying to stream something on GorillaVid or something like that. You know how the ads are like super inappropriate to begin with? It was one of those.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well,
nice.
Ben, you were apparently the vaccine to our COVID-19. Rustin, get us out of here.
In the words of Cody Rhodes, which is a professional wrestler, live in responsibility to health and science, but do not live in fear.
Good night, everybody.